SQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. It is December 17th, 2025. Me and you for two. It's the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. I thank you for spending that time with us. You know the number if you want to get involved, 1-800-919-3776. Now, the latest news that happened is that Joel Sherman of the New York Post is reporting that Luke Weaver has signed a 2-year, $22 million deal with the New York Mets. With the New York Mets. We'll get into this later because I definitely want to talk about the Knicks' victory over the Spurs to win the NBA Cup. If you watched that game, you had to be impressed at the ferocity that both teams played with. They wanted this badly. Now, whether they wanted it for the $530,000 that each member was going to get rather than $220,000, I don't know. Whether it was a contrived championship or a cup, I don't know. But both teams really desperately wanted to win this game. And that is what I was talking about yesterday. Because that in itself makes this a rousing success. Because the same two teams could have played at Madison Square Garden in front of a sellout crowd. And if it wasn't for the NBA Cup, and if it wasn't for the $550,000 that each player and coach got for the victory, it would have been a good game because it's two good teams, same record, but it wouldn't have been the game with the energy that it had yesterday. It was just outstanding. I thought the Knicks played great. The Spurs impressed the heck out of me. Boy, are they going to be a good team for a long time because they have really put together a lot of good young talent that's only going to get better. Wemby is only going to get better. He's still kind of spindly and can be pushed around, but there's parts of his game that can't even be stopped. Now, we had some arguments yesterday with some of the people I called in when I said I was really looking forward to watching the game on Prime, and they said, what's the big deal? And, there's some snarky people out there that they just look for things to hate. They can't embrace anything, and especially anything that might be different. And in some ways, I'm like that too. So there's a Nick account on X that showed fans going crazy about the Knicks NBA Cup final victory, and they panned the front of Madison Square Garden. There was not a soul out there because the game ended like 11:15. Who's outside Penn Station at 11:15? So that was a snarky little way of saying it doesn't mean anything. Well, let me tell you what. That game yesterday, to me, meant more than some of the silliness last year in the playoffs after some certain victories where 7th Avenue was mobbed, where people just, gave an excuse to go crazy. Now, the game was at Madison Square Garden. I think there would be people out celebrating, but it was in Las Vegas. And I'm not saying that it should mean something to fans. It doesn't mean anything to me. And, with the news that came out earlier, it doesn't mean anything to the Knicks. Because unlike the Lakers and unlike the Bucks, they are not putting a banner up. I was under the mistaken impression that the NBA was forcing teams to put up a banner commemorating winning the NBA Cup. Obviously not the case. The Knicks are not going to do it. And I applaud them for that because this is a mid-season or quarter-season tournament that has something neat to it because it makes the game more important. But in the scheme of things, it's not important. It's not banner-worthy. It's almost embarrassing if they weren't forced to do it that the Lakers have up an NBA Cup banner with all their championships. The pinwheel ceiling at Madison Square Garden, that's rarefied air. That's really exclusive real estate. retired numbers of the Rangers and the Knicks, Stanley Cup champion banners, not too many of them, and the 2 Knicks championship banners. There's no need to put up an NBA Cup banner. Now, all that being said, if it doesn't mean a lot to you, I think that you would be lying to yourself and lying to me, and you can call in and lie to me if you want, if you said that that game was not better than a mid-December game from 3 years ago. You'd be lying to yourself. There's no way that you could say that and really mean it, because you saw the energy and with which both teams played and the way the game was coached and the energy that all the players brought. And I want to talk specifically about the Knicks, especially the bench. We said yesterday that the bench was going to be an issue because there's no McBride, no Shamet. Well, the bench wasn't a problem at all. Tyler Kolek, if there was an MVP of that game yesterday, it would have been Brunson, it would have been Kolek or OG Anunoby. Kolek was unbelievable. And you think it meant something to him? He's due to make $2 million this year. $2 million. So to win this, he gets $530,933. You don't think it means a lot to him to get 25% of his salary to win that game yesterday? Mitchell Robinson was just exquisite yesterday. And although I don't think you could stop Wembanyama, you can slow him down. And also the Knicks were fortunate that keeping him to a minutes limit because it's only his second game back after calf injury. But for the most part, Mitchell Robinson made him work and pulled down offensive rebounds like he owned the boards. He changed the specter of the game from the beginning of the fourth quarter till about 5 minutes left when they brought back Cat. Jordan Clarkson was amazing as well. Absolutely amazing. And I've got to give credit to Mike Brown. I've got to give credit to him because I thought he coached his butt off yesterday. Because you could see that the tack that the Spurs were taking is that they were trying to wear down Jalen Brunson. I'm not saying they were picking up at 94 feet, but they were picking up at 80 feet, 75 feet. They made him work every time he brought the basketball up the court. De'Aaron Fox, Stephen Castle, Devin Vassell, all of them, they made him work his butt off. And there was one turnover where he went into the backcourt because he was being pressed, and he dribbled the ball back in the backcourt. It was a turnover. And at that point, Mike Brown brought in Kolek. And he sat down Mikal Bridges, big money starter on the Knicks. And he said, I need Kolek in there to handle the ball and help Brunson to bring the ball up. And that's exactly what he did. You could see the whole energy of the game change. Kolek was magnificent. He was so good that Brunson, who won the MVP for the entire tournament, brought that up when being interviewed by Taylor Rooks on the court. He said, before I say anything, I want to talk about how great Kolek and Mitch and Clarkson were. And he was right. The Knicks bench played a big role in winning this game. They really did. They were so good. The Knicks allowed 19 points in the fourth quarter. 19. That was after allowing 94 points in the first three quarters to the Spurs. They outscored San Antonio by 16 points in the fourth quarter. And when Wemby was on the court, right, that's when everything's supposed to change. And that's what changed in the game against Oklahoma City when the Spurs advanced to the final. Wemby was on the court, and they just dominated OKC. With Wemby on the court yesterday, the Knicks were plus 18. Plus 18. So they took advantage. There's some things that Wemby does that, you kind of lose your breath if you're a basketball fan. His long-range accuracy, hitting three-pointers, amazing. For a man 7'4". And then there was a lob where, he didn't even have to jump, essentially. And a behind-the-back soft dunk. He's special. But he, like most of the Spurs, started missing shot after shot after shot in the fourth quarter. Now, what does it mean in the grand scheme of things? I'm not sure, but it shows that under pressure of trying to win something, I thought Mike Brown said it great. He said, when you're in anything where you want to be the last one standing, it adds added meaning to that game. And that's exactly what this was. Every single team had a chance to win the NBA Cup. The Knicks are the last team standing. Just like college tournaments, the old Holiday Festival, or the Maui Classic, or the games in the Bahamas that they set up during the holidays. They don't mean anything in the scheme of things to get into March Madness. But you know what it does mean? You're the last one standing. So that adds something to it. I thought the Knicks really acquitted themselves well. It was so much fun to watch that game. If you didn't enjoy that game, again, that's a you issue. And you went in with a preconceived notion, I'm not going to add any importance to this game. Every game should be important. Well, how about this, everybody? This game doesn't even count in the standings because both the Spurs and the Knicks came into this game with an 18-7 record. And the Knicks won 124-113. And you know what their record is today? 18-7. And the Spurs came in this game at 18-7, and they lost 124-113, and their record is still 18-7. The stats don't count. The record doesn't count. The win doesn't count toward the record. And maybe that's something that'll be tweaked in future NBA Cups. But even though it doesn't count toward your seasonal record, if you watch the game, again, debate me on this, that game meant something to these players. Yeah, at the end of the game, you saw Josh Hart, rub his fingers together, indicating money. Yeah, the money made it special for these guys. Because if you lost the game, you got about $220,000. If you won the game, you got $530,000. So that's, over $300,000 more to win the game. Knicks never gave up. For a while, it looked like they were going to get blown out. They were down by, I think, 11 at one point. And then they just took off between the end of the third and the fourth quarter was all theirs. And it's funny, I don't think it means as much to the fans as the NBA wants it to mean. At least at this point, it's in year 3. It's not going away because it was part of the deal that Prime signed with the NBA. But the fact that a game between two really good teams and a Knicks team that many people feel will be in the NBA Finals, they couldn't come close to selling out that arena. Now, the story in the Post today that they were calling in seat fillers like they do at the Oscars. When there's a seat empty, a guy goes up or a gal goes up and accepts an award, they bring in somebody to fill the seat so it looks good for TV. They had seat fillers courtside. And that's why next year the semis are going to be at the home court of the higher seed. And they're trying to find a place for the final. It's probably not going to be Las Vegas. It might be, Adam Silver hinted it could be an iconic college venue. I mean, would they put it in Cameron at Duke? I mean, that's only 10,000 people, but maybe that's what they could sell. And you really don't get true ratings from Amazon. I wonder what that did, because I thought it was explained perfectly by the broadcaster. I think Ian Eagle said it, or maybe it was Stan or Dwayne Wade. It's the only game in town, the only NBA game yesterday. Every single player in the NBA was probably watching that game. So that added special import to it as well. That made people go, I want a show. I mean, if the best players are watching, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is watching right now, I want to play great. It's why Monday Night Football is special, and Sunday Night Football is special, and Thursday Night Football is special, because the whole league is watching. And the whole league was watching yesterday, watching the Knicks play a great, entertaining style of basketball that will do well in the postseason. I know that Detroit now has the second best record in the NBA at 21-5. But if the Knicks play the way they played, with that kind of energy and focus and offensive cohesion, and no one gets hurt between now and the playoffs, I think the Knicks will be in the NBA Finals. And I was not a proponent of Tom Thibodeau getting fired. I didn't think it was the right thing to do. but they're better offensively than they were last year. The ball moves. The offense is more fluid. They get other people involved. And, as I was sitting there watching that game with my son last night, and Brown made that move to bring in Kolek, I don't know if Tibbs would have done that, to bring in a second-year guy. He didn't trust younger people. And I understand why. He's trying to win every single game. I don't think he makes that move. And if he doesn't make that move and the same game kind of unfolds, I don't think the Knicks win. Kolek was that important. That move, putting in Kolek and benching Bridges for the rest of the game, that won the game. So I think that Brown has a better feel offensively for the vagaries of an offense than Tibbs does. I think Tibbs is a better defensive coach, but I have to give credit. Knicks are much better defensively today than they were a month ago. And you still have a lot of time left to go. So 18-7, that's 25 games. There's 82 games in the season. A lot of things can happen. And they could get a lot better. I think this Knicks team is that good. And I'm not going gaga over one game, but the way they played against the Magic in the semifinals, moved the ball, beautiful basketball movement. And it wasn't all about threes. It wasn't. They moved the ball as if the three didn't exist sometimes. I loved watching it. It came close to being classic basketball. Yeah, I know the three is still a huge part of what every team does offensively, but that was just outstanding. So you look at the top teams in the NBA now. Oklahoma City's 24-2. Denver's 19-6. Detroit 21-5. The Knicks, San Antonio, and the Lakers are 18-7. Not too bad. Not too bad. The Knicks are showing. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to the phones. Let's see what you think. I thought it was a tremendously entertaining basketball game. And believe me, to me, the cup means nothing. It's contrived. It's a made-up thing. Just like, the in-season tournaments in soccer. I get it. I understand the rules of engagement. It's a money grab. And it was a money grab for the players. But anything that impacts the way the game is played positively, I'm all for it. And I'm all for the Knicks not putting the banner up. I think it would have been a bad look. That's not what the New York Knicks are about, even though they just have 2 titles in their entire history. You don't need to put up a Fugazi banner like that. Well, it would be a weak look. Again, I'm shocked the Lakers and the Bucks did it. Now, interesting thing I saw online today, people joke, well, the Knicks aren't going to have a parade. Do you know that the Knicks have never, ever had a parade? So when they won in 1970, they had a Gracie Mansion celebration at the mayor's house, and they didn't have any kind of ticker tape parade because of the unrest in the country involved with Vietnam. And in 1973, they had another celebration at City Hall, and Walt Frazier didn't even show up. So the Knicks have been around since the beginning of the NBA. They've never had a parade. If they win this year, they'll have a parade, and it will be wild. It'll be absolutely wild. Let's go to Jerome in East Orange to start it off. Jerome, talk to me.
Hey, good afternoon.
How you doing?
Good. Hope you're well. I want to tell you, man, I enjoyed that game thoroughly last night. I actually wish they would move it to All-Star Weekend. I would much prefer seeing that type of intensity in a cup game rather than watch the All-Star game and what they've been putting out. I also want to say that, this is the first time in a long time that I did not feel that we were out-coached. Our strategy from an offensive standpoint, all of that ISO, stand around and watch a guy dribble, the ball moved, and we're building trust in our bench players, and it just felt good to see it last night. So I'm feeling really good today about the Cup, about the Knicks, and where we're headed.
I'll tell you what, Jerome, you and I are in lockstep. I agree with everything you said. And you also brought up something that's interesting to me, how bad the All-Star game is, right? And the All-Star game, they pay the players money. If you win, there's money on the line, a lot of money. And that doesn't move the needle for them to play hard and play real basketball in the All-Star game. But the money this time, I think it does move the needle. And the fact that it's your team, it's not, you're not alongside, if you're a Knick, you're not alongside Giannis or another Eastern Conference player, or they do drafts or whatever the case may be. It's not that. This really mattered to the players. And I think money played a big role, but the fact that they're representing their team and the name on the front is the Knicks. It's not All-Star. It's not an individual thing where you show off your skills. This is about team basketball. I had not thought about that, so you brought that up. The All-Star game is dreadful. Every single iteration that they've tried is an embarrassment. The only All-Star game in all of professional sports, to me, that even comes close to the real deal is the baseball All-Star game. That's it. Hockey's a joke, 10-9 games. I mean, they're playing flag football in the NFL for the Pro Bowl. So, and the NBA, it's a no defense dunk contest. That wasn't yesterday. There was a lot of defense being played. Let's see what Spike in St. Pete thinks. Spike.
It was the most fun I've had with my clothes on last night. Jesus, that was fun.
It was terrific.
That's one of your lines. But look. I go over every game with my childhood friend, and the teams that you mentioned, as you rattled them off, none of them are 3-4, sensitive teams. They don't rely on the three. And yet, something happened in that game last night, and I think Tom Thibodeau was unjustly fired, not casting aspersions on Mike Brown. Tibbs doesn't do that. He doesn't sit Bridges, who was winded. He looked winded. And if I told you before the game, Michael, for 1,000 free chicken palm sandwiches, Kolick and Jordan Clarkson are going to star in that game and win the game for you, you'd have me arrested for losing my mind.
Yeah, you're right.
It just worked out that way. I'll tell you what the key to this team is. I'm going to stick with it until I can't speak anymore. Mitchell Robinson controls the boards. That's his domain. In the game before, he tapped it to himself like Bill Russell used to tap it to himself. In this game last night, he couldn't get the ball away from the kid. He had 10 offensive rebounds. I didn't see the box score, but I doubt if he played 20 minutes.
I think he played 18 minutes.
Okay. If you keep him upright for the playoffs, and Cat played well. He plays hard. He didn't score that many points, but this is Jalen Brunson's team, but the pieces are there. OG Anunoby is playing like the first All-NBA defensive player, and his offense has improved. Josh Hart, I thought he pulled his hamstring. I'm sure you did too when
he went down on his knee, yeah.
And he's shaking it off and calling for the ball. He hasn't made a three-point shot, and the ball finds you. You always say that in baseball. Can't hide anybody. It found him, and he made the three that wound up turning the game around. They never got behind by more than 11. They showed a lot of poise, and I'll leave you with this. You always say when you want to follow in a champion like Greg Popovich, this new coach on the Spurs, forget his name, it slips by me, but he worked for them and he won a couple of G League titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He is, Alan Hahn was talking about it yesterday. He says he knows him pretty well, and he's a terrific young guy. You had Fox. They played four guards in the backcourt. The Harper kid came in and was draining shots. Wembanyama he stands alone. He reminds me of Chamberlain. He just physically dominates everything. Just totally dominates it, yet he was minus 18 or whatever the fact was. The Knicks look terrific. You have a big 3 games coming up in 4 days now, and you got some teams that give them trouble. You got Miami, Indiana's playing terribly. I think you have another good game in there.
Philadelphia on Saturday, on Friday.
Okay, try and get a ticket for that game for under $300 on the aftermarket. But I'll leave you with this. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be a terrific year. I'm with the coach so far, and I was just thinking, watching the game, and I saw they were bending but not breaking, and they were going to have more poise at the end. I kept thinking about Tibbs, I wonder what he thinks. If it was you, you'd want them to lose.
Yeah.
Just playing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Of course. You know me. You know me, Spike. Of course I'd want them to lose. But, if you got fired, you want them to lose. But they're not. They might be better than they were last year. Now, it's a long season. Injuries happen. Trades happen. I'll put this out here. The way they're playing right now, would you break this up to make a trade for Antetokounmpo? Now, the automatic knee-jerk reaction is, of course, you do anything to get Antetokounmpo. But if you bring Antetokounmpo in February, you think you're going to have the cohesion that this team will have when the playoffs start? I don't think you would. Now, for the long term, probably better for championship. But for this year, would it be better for a championship? You'd be removing Cat, and you'd be removing maybe a Bridges, hopefully not an Anunoby. You'd be removing people. So that's a good question to ask. And one other thing I just want to point out to people, if you didn't see the game yesterday, go online. Karl-Anthony Towns made one of the great passes you'll ever see. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he had the vision to do it, but they trapped him. There was a play, one spur along with Wemby, and they trapped him against the sideline. And he whipped a pass around Wemby to a wide open OG under the basket. It was scintillatingly beautiful. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it. That's one of the best passes that you will see with a player under pressure. Just amazing. I will talk more about it when we get back. 1-800-919-3776. Hey, right now at Bay Ridge Honda, experience the wonder of holiday savings with the 12 days of deals during Happy Honda Days. Like the Accord SE, only $299 per month, or the all-wheel drive HR-V LX for only $269 a month. The 12 days of deals on now during Happy Honda Days. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 39 months lease, 7,500 miles per year, 2026 down, plus tax, tag, and fees. See dealer for full details.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
The Winter Savings Event is right now at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $169 per month, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5. Select for as low as $229 per month and get as low as 0.9% APR financing rates on select models. Plus, enjoy 1 year complimentary of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Bet365 is paying out. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
For over 100 years, Slomin's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, we deliver more than just quality fuel. We deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, 24/7 service, and up to 30 days to pay your invoice. Our dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, New York and New Jersey's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving our community for generations. Give us a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown! Yes! Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
Wednesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Knicks are NBA Cup champions.
The Knicks have much bigger goals at the end of the year, but by beating San Antonio, they're leaving Las Vegas with a brand new trophy. The 2025 NBA Cup champions, your New York Knicks.
Will this experience help them in the playoffs? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
And after that, Kwanzaa, and then New Year's Eve. So hopefully we can see through the abyss and actually enjoy life for a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't get worse than it has. But, yeah, just an awful weekend. So just watching that game yesterday was a little bit of a respite from the realities of the world. You know, it's real, what was happening, but it's all fun and games, and that's what it's supposed to be. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Brandon in South Carolina. Brandon.
Hey, Michael. How you doing?
What's up, man?
Not much. Just a couple quick notes on the Cup game. One, I just think it's weird to hate it. Like, you can not be into it, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's two very talented teams competing in a playoff atmosphere. Like, I don't know why people are complaining about that.
Well said. Well said.
Two, with the banner, I think Silver probably pushes heavily to hang it. I could see this being part of, Dolan and his beef with the NBA kind of pushing back against them. But either way, I like that it's not going up.
So do I.
And then
you're right. And the Knicks are not pleased with Silver because, he's by the deals that they signed with the TV networks, they're kind of killing regional sports networks. So I think Dolan, who owns MSG, sees that, and he was pushing back on it.
Yeah. And lastly, with making it matter more than just the money, I know it's tough to find the right idea. I've seen people say, like, some type of guaranteed playoff seed. You can't do that.
No.
But how about, no penalty for the loser, obviously. You shouldn't be penalized for making it to the title game. But why not give the winner an actual win so that end of year, if there's a seeding tiebreaker or something, tie goes to the Cup champion? Like, that's not drastic, but it's something.
No, I don't know if you were listening yesterday, Brandon, but I brought that up. I think it's silly that you're making guys play a 48-minute game, and it actually doesn't count, and their stats don't count. Why don't their stats count? That to me is criminal. I mean, I'm sure they love the $530,933, but OG Anunoby scored 28 points. Those should count. More rebounds, offensive rebounds by Mitchell Robinson, those should count. And you're right. This would serve as a tiebreaker. If you win, then you played 83 games. So at the end, let's say you're 63-20, and the Pistons are 62-20. Then you win. You get the tiebreaker because you won the cup. You played an extra game that that was available to be played by the Pistons, but they just didn't get there. I love that idea. I think it's great. It would further incentivize because it would serve as a tiebreaker. Now, I also believe that maybe you should give the loser a loss. But I understand what you say, and it kind of brings clarity to my thought that, why should you be penalized for getting to the finals? You should only be incentivized to get to the finals. Because if you lose, then that would be a negative tiebreaker for you down the stretch where you played an extra game that other teams didn't play because they weren't good enough to get to the finals. But I love the wrinkle of actually giving the team an actual win on their game total. Love it. Absolutely love it. And the stats should count. Somehow they should make them count. Because I know I saw it. I know I spent 3 hours watching it. I know it took place. But, 400 years from now, did it take place? There's no record of it. It's just odd. It's just kind of odd. Let's go to Javier in Queens. Javier.
Hey, my esteemed co-host, Michael. Thank you for getting on with me today, Michael.
Thank you for getting on with me. What's going on?
Much appreciated. Michael, one of the things I love about your show is I have a Knicks point, but you got me thinking about something else as well. Just very quickly, let's say Brunson beat Wilt Chamberlain's scoring record last night. Let's say he scored 105 points.
Yeah.
Would they not consider that the scoring record because it's an unofficial
you're
game?
right. They don't. It's a great point.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a little nuts. Look, I watched the whole game last night. I was very excited for it, and it's like I'm living in like a dreamland. Not only did they play a really good game, they played a very, very good game. After the game, Brunson gives the perfect answers in his interview, right? Mm-hmm. Perfect leader. Like he says exactly the things that you want from a team guy who leads your team. And then today they make the decision not to hang the banner, like chef's kiss. Like it's like the Knicks can do no wrong. And I think I'm in bizarro world. I've been watching them for so long, and it's just kind of crazy to me. I do have a thought on the cup. I think something that could make it interesting. I was telling Alan and Don yesterday. I think, how there's 30 teams. I think the winner of the cup, you give them the 31st pick in the draft. Like you add a draft pick to the first round of that year, and that's what's on the line. Because, the money's nice, but clearly at the end of the game, they didn't show off the money, right? But if they gave a draft pick to a team, that actually means something. It's valuable, and I think that's that's a worthwhile prize. And one other thing, since they won in Vegas, hang that banner up in the Sphere. I mean, it's Dolan's. He's advertised the Sphere on the Knicks jerseys. You got to hang it up. Go hang it up in Vegas in the Sphere.
You know what? They could do what the Lakers did. And from what I hear, somebody on social media told me, Lakers hang it up in their practice facility. So the Knicks could put it up in Westchester if they want. But it doesn't belong up in the pinwheel ceiling of the Garden. It just doesn't. Now, as for the, giving them, a 31st pick, which would be essentially the first pick of the second round, that's a little much too, but that doesn't incentivize players to have the game matter more to them. It just doesn't. Players don't care about draft picks. I said this yesterday. You know what a draft pick is? Another guy that's going to come in that could take one of their jobs. They're not worried about that. That's why there's no tanking by players in football. A coach could tank, an organization could tank by making certain players not play as much, some schemes that don't work, but guys that are out on the field, they're not tanking. They don't care about the first round draft pick because that pick could take your job. And I don't think the organizations could want to win anymore. If you're saying that the pick might interest, fans more, maybe. The only thing that interests me is seeing great competition. And last night was great competition. It was tremendous. How could you not have enjoyed it? Again, I know I'm kind of gushing about essentially a game that didn't count, but I thought it was great. I thought it was just great. There's nothing that you could look at that game and have any negativity. We had people calling yesterday. They're not looking forward to it. I mean, there are some people in this business. I'm not even going to watch it. All right, that's your loss. Then you're a curmudgeon. You're not going to watch it. Why? You don't want to see great basketball? That might be one of the most competitive, tightly fought games that you might see all year. And you're not going to watch it. What? Some silent protest? Silliness. People that say stuff like that, I don't get you. Do you not enjoy life? So there was a great restaurant open in your town, and you didn't like the owner. But, boy, the food was great. Well, I'm not going to go. Why? Because you don't like the owner? You get great chicken parmesan. You're not going to go because you don't like the owner. Silly. I'm not watching that. Why? I need somebody to explain to me, why wouldn't you watch that other than if you don't want to pay for Prime? That I get. We're not going to get into that. But if you have Prime as a streaming service, why in God's name would you not have watched that game? Why? What point are you trying to prove? Hey, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 10 p.m., the Devils are in Vegas to play the Golden Knights. That means Don's in Vegas to play the Golden Knights. I love it. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Still have to talk about Luke Weaver signing with the Mets. 2 years, $22 million. We'll talk about that in the 2 o'clock hour. Also at 2:30, it's Wednesday, so we get a chance to check in with the Daily News' Mike Lupica. All coming up right here on the K Show. You're watching us on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, and you're listening on ESPN New York.
Brees Hall, the I-back, at the 5-yard line. Handoff, Brees Hall finds a crease, runs left. He's into the end zone for a Jet touchdown. Jets fans, come out to MetLife Stadium for a Week 17 divisional matchup. See the New York Jets host the New England Patriots Sunday, December 28th at 1 p.m. Presented by Ticketmaster. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
Discover a driving experience crafted to inspire. At Garden City Mazda, exceptional design and sophisticated performance come together during the Mazda More to Move You sales event. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5 for just $229 a month at Garden City Mazda.
Listen up, New York. It's football season, and you should be out there enjoying every play, every tailgate, every moment. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. That's where Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain comes in. He's one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and dedicated to getting you back in the game. Here's the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided procedures that get real results. Dr. Shaw treats everything from neck pain, back pain, migraines, nerve pain, and chronic joint pain. And he builds a custom game plan that's right for you. Same-day or next-day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. And yes, most major insurances are accepted. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Go to SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings during the More to Move You event. Lease a new Mazda 2025 CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $199 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN385912. MSRP $32,795. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
The holidays are here, and Amazon Pickup is your MVP of package pickup. Need that perfect gift like a brand new jersey for the big game? With Amazon Pickup, you can grab your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule at no extra cost. It's fast, it's easy, and it keeps your holiday surprises tucked safely away. So whether you're running from work or heading to the holiday party, Amazon Pickup makes holiday shopping worry-free. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Too much on your list this season? Get 50% off your first 6 months of payroll at gusto.com/radio. Gusto saves you 2 days every month on payroll, taxes, and compliance. So you can go from making payroll to making gingerbread houses, checking your books to decking the halls, spreadsheets to snow angels. Switch before the end of the year and there's no need to transfer payroll history. Now that's a reason to be merry. Choose a future with Gusto and get more time for what matters. For a limited time, get 50% off your first 6 months at gusto.com/radio.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
The NBA is happening Christmas Day. 5 games, 1 unforgettable lineup.
That's what Christmas is all about.
Buckets for breakfast, breakaways for dessert. It's the holiday tradition.
Christmas is our day.
With star power from across the globe.
The stars, they are going to be out.
The best gift, you don't even have to unwrap it.
We want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
NBA Christmas Day begins at noon Eastern on ABC and ESPN.
You know what? I've got the greatest listeners/viewers. So Suffering Jim and Kofi pointed out to me that tonight's Devils Golden Knights game is on TNT. It's a TNT exclusive. So that means the game will not be on MSG. That means that Don will be here doing the show starting at 3 o'clock with Alan. I believe that Peter's off all week, but Don and Alan will be doing Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. So Don is not doing the Devils Golden Knights game because it is an exclusive TNT presentation. You know, we're talking about the Knicks and how well they played. I've just got to get this out there. What is up with this Ranger team? They got shut out at home yesterday for the 6th time. 6th time they lost to the Canucks 3-0, 3-0. They have won just 4 games at Madison Square Garden. Good teams win games at home. You make home your own. So that's odd. I mean, the Knicks have taken some heat off teams, and they've taken heat off their, the other tenant. Because we'd be talking about how bad the Rangers are. They show glimpses when they're on the road. They win some games that are impressive. But to be shut out 6 times at home, it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Let's go to Lance in Danbury, Connecticut. What's up, Lance?
Hey, Michael. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Good. I just wanted to tell you, man, I never thought I would like a Knicks team as much as my Ewing Starks 90s teams, but I love this team. Seeing their smiles after the game and even the guys who make less money on the team so excited because they had a payday, yep. I thought it was great. Everybody's making such a big deal out of this cup and overthinking it and talking negative on it. I think it's wonderful. I think the NBA did a great job, and I want to see the Knicks win a championship. And, Michael, one question for you. Now that you've been doing this by yourself for a while now, I'm just curious, in your opinion, do you enjoy more having co-hosts or do you like doing this more on your own? I'm just curious. Thank you so much.
Well, it's a great question, and it's complicated. Now, I loved doing the show with Don and Peter. Loved it. And before that, just with Don. And it's more relaxing to do it with somebody else because you don't have to run all the talk. And I thought that on the afternoon show, I was kind of like a point guard. Now, I look to score, but for the most part, I'm setting up Don and Peter. Here, you're the point guard and you're setting yourself up. And, just for my quality of life, these 2 hours at this time where I'm off the air when my kids are coming back from school, this is about a little over a year that I've done the show. I love it. I absolutely love it. But the other thing was a different experience. You're on an afternoon drive, which is, prime real estate in radio. And so you're not doing that anymore. This is kind of the beginning of afternoon drive. But all things considered, I made the great move for me, and Alan's been great on the show with Don and Peter, so that show continues to thrive. So this was the right move for me. And just from the reaction I'm getting from you people, it seems like you like it as well. So that's all that counts. So I'm having a blast. Actually having a blast. Let's go to Greg in the work truck. What's up, Greg?
Michael, how's it going, my friend?
All good. How about you?
Mostly spectacular.
Good.
I'm not a fan of the NBA, but I think that instead of it being in the middle of December, I think it should be this tournament. It should be somewhere around the All-Star break, similar to how the NHL did the Four Nations. And I think with the WBC, I think that should be when the All-Star break for Major League Baseball is as well, instead of in the middle of spring training.
I would agree with the baseball part of it. I think there's definitely a reason for them having it in December, because the games that lead up to the semis and the finals, those are regularly scheduled games. So if you just made it an isolated tournament, then I don't know if you'd be cutting back from the 82 games that you have. You wouldn't really be able to make an even schedule. So I think that probably is the issue there. But if you want to really say, okay, what's not perfect with this tournament, and Ray Deanham, my producer, we were talking during the break, it's kind of convoluted. What games are cup games, and they're kind of separated from the semis, and it just doesn't all come together like a grid, like they want a grid. Like they do in March Madness. It's kind of all over the place. So I think it's tough for people to follow. They only get to follow it when it comes down to the this game means that they get to go to Vegas. Yeah, that's when you really lock in. But there are games before that actually count toward this, and I don't think people have figured it out. And that could use some tweaking. But the bottom line is, you've created a game that means something more than an average game on December 16th. It just does. If that game was just one of 82, it might have been a fine game because the Spurs are good and the Knicks are good, but I don't think it would have had the same energy and the same competitive nature. Let's go to Peter. He's in Wantagh. What's up, Peter?
Hello, Michael K. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm well. And thinking about all the complaining about this, that game was excellent last night. Yep. I'm a longtime suffering Knicks fan. And it was just so nice to see the team step up. They showed a little resilience coming back. They got down. I think people just love to complain, and that's the problem. But that was a
Peter,
great championship.
Well said. People just want to be, the contrarian. Because even if you have no allure with the NBA Cup game, and you just tuned into that game and you didn't care that was the NBA Cup, you can't tell me that wasn't a great basketball game with guys playing. I mean, Dwayne Wade. By the way, Dwayne Wade's good on the air. I really like him as a broadcaster. But they played like it was the seventh game of a playoff series. That was not the energy that you usually see just in any regular season game. And please don't come at me. They should try every game. They do try every game. But there are different levels. There are different levels of want and urgency. They had an urgency yesterday that's equal to the urgency of a postseason game. So some way, with their convoluted system, the NBA created two excellent games in the semis, excellent games, and then one really, really great game in the finals. How could you knock that? Isn't that what you want? You want games to be top flight. You want competition to be top of the line. I thought it was stupendous. Let's go to Don in Long Beach. Donnie. Hey, Don.
Hey, Michael.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm great. How you doing? Well, your phone's not doing well, that's for sure. Try back again later, Don. Let's go to Corey in Old Bridge. Corey.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking my call. Good afternoon.
Thanks for making it. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you. I got two quick I guess, things I can throw out there. One's a basketball and one's baseball related. Okay. But real quick, basketball related, I know it's been brought up on some of the other shows, but how about the winner of the tournament get like an automatic playoff spot? I know there'd be things to figure out with that, but that would make, incentive enough for some of the bad teams in the league, the Washingtons, the Charlottes, the New Orleans. They can put everything into those games, for the Cup.
Well, why would you? Why would you want to rook a team that got a legitimate playoff spot out of a playoff spot by having? I don't know if a bad team could win the Cup. Anybody that advances to the finals of the Cup is probably a playoff team anyway. I think that's adding too much import to it to give them a playoff spot. Playoff spot is what you play for. So I don't love that, Corey.
No, I get it, and part of me didn't either. I thought it was interesting though, and you could also space out the tournament. You can have one game every 2 weeks leading up to the finals. Maybe spread it out, and that could keep teams competitive. I agree with you on one thing. I wish there was structure so people knew this is and the announcers say it, but it kind of comes out of nowhere. Oh, this is an NBA Cup game. Kind of takes you by surprise until the semis and the finals. What was your baseball point? Absolutely. So I haven't heard this discussed at all. I don't know if this would ever come up during negotiations, but I know we're leading to an inevitable lockout, no matter how long that may last, whether it's going to cancel games or not. But I was wondering if you think that somehow, maybe not a salary cap, but would owners bring to the table maybe a restriction on how long contracts last? I know one thing that kills teams' payrolls is the 10, 12, 15-year deals where they're still paying a guy $30 million when he's 45 and it's, he's definitely past his prime. Could there be like a limit on maybe like 6 or 8 years, and then in turn they could give the players maybe a shorter leash on their initial time when they come up? Maybe instead of 6 years, it's 4 years. I'm just thinking outside the box. I'm a huge baseball fan. I don't know if they can come together and reach an agreement on something like that.
Well, Corey, I think, right? I think they would love to put a limit on the length of contracts, like they have in the NBA and like they have in hockey. But in order to do that, right, then you're going to have to. I think you need to have a restriction on the length of contracts if you're going to have a solid hard cap. Because if you have a solid hard cap and you want to give Juan Soto $700 million, then you give him a 30-year contract just to spread out the payments so the average annual value fits under the cap. So there's a lot of heavy lifting that has to be done. I would think that the players would really rail against that. But, they want to have the 10-year deals, the 15-year deals like Soto got. And, if you look at it, the Yankees offered him a 16-year deal. $5 million less than the Mets offered him. Mets were 15, Yankees were 16. And that was to amortize the cost and lower the average annual value. So I'm sure that the owners would want it and the players don't. Now, if the owners end up getting a cap, and it's going to be tough to do that, the bottom line is this: what's going to happen. They are going to have to lower the amount of years to get to free agency from 6 to 4. They just will. You got to give the players something significant for them to accept the cap. I don't think they're going to accept the cap. I think the only way the owners would get a cap, in my opinion, would be to shut down the sport and have the players come back and go, I don't want to lose the money, and vote to just ratify the agreement. But there's a strong segment of the players that are still connected to those that are connected to Marvin Miller that just look at the salary cap as the worst thing of all time. So it's going to be interesting starting December 1st of next year. That's why enjoy the 2026 season. The Winter Savings Event is right now at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $169 per month, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5 Select for as low as $229 per month, and get as low as 0.9% APR financing rates on select models. Plus, enjoy 1 year complimentary of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
New York Presbyterian treats more heart patients than any other hospital in New York. From common to complex conditions, our cardiologists and heart surgeons are pioneers in advanced heart care, leading the way in minimally invasive treatments for faster recovery times. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital based on U.S. News and World Report 2025 to 2026 Cardiology, Heart, and Vascular Surgery Rankings.
When you're streaming Stranger Things on Netflix,
hurry! Okay, wait!
Don't take slow for an answer. Switch to Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds, starting at $25 a month. And this holiday season, get Netflix and so much more on us. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today.
Whoa, did you see that?
Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Netflix subscription required. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Hey, this is Mika Zibanejad.
Hey, this is Adam Fox. Catch every Rangers game right here on 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
At Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, we're celebrating this holiday season with our $155,000 Slay the Road drawing, including your chance to win a new Land Rover Defender and $10,000 cash. Earn entries all month long, then be here on January 1st between 12 and 3 p.m. when one winner will be drawn every hour to win up to $20,000 cash. At 4 p.m., one lucky winner will win a Land Rover Defender and $10,000 cash. At Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Right now at Bay Ridge Honda, experience the wonder of holiday savings with the 12 days of deals during Happy Honda Days, like the Accord SE, only $299 per month, or the all-wheel drive HR-V LX for only $269 a month. The 12 days of deals on now during Happy Honda Days, plus receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 39 months lease, 7,500 miles per year, 2026 down, plus tax, tag, and fees. See dealer for full details.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Harry Douglas here, and the holidays are rolling in, and if men in your life are struggling with their holiday wish list, tell them to add Manscaped to make gift giving easy and completely stress-free this year. From the beard hedger to the lawnmower trimmer, Manscaped's precision tools keep you looking sharp, feeling confident, and ready for every event and celebration. Right now at Target, get 20% off on the Handyman Shaver, Beard Hedger, and the Chairman Plus Essentials Kit, a must-have for a smooth face shave. Hurry up though, offer ends December 27th.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hour 2 of our 2-hour radio program. Me and you for 2. Those are the rules of engagement every single day. Fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. So, told you this at the beginning of the show, that Luke Weaver has signed a 2-year, $22 million deal with the Mets. And the Mets just keep collecting Yankees. And I don't say that in a pejorative way. It's a fact. Soto is a Met. Devin Williams is a Met. Clay Holmes is a Met. And now Jeff Weaver is a Met. So if you want to find the good news in this, David Bednar has a place to land if he loses the Yankee closer role. There it is. They're waiting for you in Flushing. Same thing with Camilo Doval. If it doesn't work out in the Bronx, there he is, David Stearns with open arms. I'm not saying it's a bad move. I like Luke Weaver a lot. He did not pitch as well in 2025 as he did in 2024, where he's a closer on a team that went to the World Series. But even Met fans would have to admit, it's an odd look, man. It's an odd look. You're putting guys together that the Yankees didn't want anymore, except for Soto. Yankees desperately wanted Soto. Yankees didn't want Clay Holmes back. They didn't want Devin Williams back. And from the reports that I'm seeing, they didn't have any interaction with Luke Weaver. Certainly not $11 million, because I think what the Yankees looked at with Luke Weaver is they saw value in the fact that Luke Weaver performed as he did at a salary of about $2.5 million. There was the great value in having a guy like that pitch as expertly as he did at that low money. But all of a sudden, if you jack him up to $11 million, it doesn't work for the Yankees because he's not closing. David Bednar is the closer, so that would mean that your setup guy would be making almost twice as much as your closer. And again, Luke Weaver lost a closer role last year and didn't pitch well. He did not pitch nearly as well as he did the year before. So maybe the Yankees, in their internal discussions, said to themselves, we got everything that we could get out of Luke Weaver. We love him, but if he could get something somewhere else, then that's what he should do. And that's what he did. That's what he did. And he gets $22 million from the Mets. So the setup guy is going to be Luke Weaver for Devin Williams. It's just odd. It's just odd. Devin Williams, Yankees to the Mets. Clay Holmes, Yankees to the Mets. Weaver, Yankees to the Mets. Soto, Yankees to the Mets. And by the time this winter is over, it could be Cody Bellinger, Yankees to the Mets. I want to hear, I want to hear from everybody. You know how I feel about you. But Met fans, is it a weird feel for you? This is your crosstown rival, and you could kind of make the case, other than Soto, you're taking the Yankee discards. These are guys the Yankees didn't want. They didn't. Devin Williams, they didn't even make an offer to Devin Williams. They didn't want him. Thank you for your service. Well, probably a mistake, although he pitched very well in the last month of the season and in the postseason. So I take nothing away from him. And I'm one of the few people I think, that covered the team. I liked him. I thought he was a decent guy. Maybe a little misplaced in New York, but, he pitched as well as he could when he lost a closer role for the second time. Just odd. Just out of caught my attention. And I give credit to my producer, Ray Deanahan, who gave me the line about, at least David Bednar has somewhere to close if it doesn't work out. 1-800-919-3776. Now, on social media, Rob Gavin, at Gavin Comedy, tweeted this at me. Aaron Judge is a great player and all-time Yankee, but if he wanted a World Series ring, he should have pushed to sign with the Dodgers. The Yankees are not as invested as LA in winning a title. Does anyone think this team could beat LA in a World Series? Come on. Well, here's what I would say to Rob. I don't think every player feels the need to go to a ready-made championship the way Kevin Durant did and the way Edwin Diaz did. Some people want to win it on their own, and if they don't win it, it means more to them that they tried to push a team over the top rather than join a team that's at the top and just do a pile-on. That's number one. Number two, you say they're not as invested as LA in winning the title. So you're just talking about money. Okay, so we could say no one in the sport is as invested money-wise as the Dodgers. But your second point, does anyone think this team could beat LA in a World Series? Come on. Hey, Rob, the Blue Jays took the Dodgers, the team that's invested better than anybody, to the 11th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. And guess what? The Blue Jays won the exact same amount of games as the Yankees, 94. And this team, an organization that's not invested, the year before went to Game 5 of the World Series against this very LA Dodger team. So, I mean, I know you're trying to get a reaction, and you're certainly getting one right now. And I'm not angry about it. You have the right to your opinions. But both of those points I push back on. Players don't have to join ready-made championships. They want to get that championship themselves. It means more, number one. Number two, I think there are people that think that the Yankees could beat LA in a World Series because they almost did. And the team that they tied for the most wins in the American League almost did. So to think that they have no chance, that no one would think they have a chance, it's folly. It's absolute folly. It doesn't make sense. How could you think they don't have a chance? And if they played a semblance of defense in the fifth inning of Game 5 in 2024, I think they go to L.A. and they win those 2 games. Because I think the tide was turning in favor of the Yankees. The Dodgers had no starting pitching, which is completely different than this year, when starting pitching got them over the hump. And the Dodgers would have started to feel a lot of heat if that series is taken back to L.A. But the Judge drop, the Volpe play, Cole not covering first base, that did the Yankees in. But when you look at the numbers for that series, I think the Dodgers outscored the Yankees by 1 run in the entire series. Everything else kind of equal. Yankees blew it on the field, fundamentally. But to say does anyone, all capitals, think this team could beat LA in a World Series? Yeah, they do. There are people that think that. Let's go back to the phones. Let's do that. Let's go to Alan, all the way in Florida, in Clearwater. What's up, Alan?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm a big fan, sir, especially of your honesty and how you don't go with what's fashionable. You go with what the truth is, and I appreciate that. I'm an old school guy, a 50-year Yankee and Knicks fan, so I'm with you on that. I have a 2-part question for you, sir, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned a while back that you felt, if I'm not quoting you wrong, that you felt that Hal Steinbrenner was not holding Cashman accountable.
I never said that.
No?
Mm-mm.
Then it
What
must
do you
have been
mean?
a made-up thing on YouTube. I just mean that, 19 years have gone by, and we don't have a World Series win. And, Girardi was fired because I guess the whole thing with him was, he wasn't a bad manager. We were a good team every year under him. It's just that he couldn't get us over the hump. But here we are 19 years later.
16 years.
And we're the same way with Cashman. And you can honestly say, man, that he's had average the last 2 decades, he's had the highest payroll to work with in baseball. And we have no championship. And year after year, we're always talking about how our team is not complete. Last year we had 3 left-handed hitting catchers. We had too many DH first base type. And, this year it doesn't look like, any promise.
Well, let's pick apart some of the things, Alan. Last year was incomplete, you said. They won the most games of any team in the American League. They were tied with the Blue Jays. So how bad were they? The year before they went to the World Series. They went. So when you say that Hal, somebody made something up on YouTube that I said that Hal doesn't hold Cashman accountable. I never said that. What I said was, and maybe this is skewed, is that maybe Hal looks at what Cashman's doing as highly successful in a time in baseball where it's not as easy as when his dad owned the team to outspend everybody and put together the best team. It's not. And every single year, the Yankees come in to spring training having a legitimate chance to go to the World Series. Maybe he looks at that as success because he's a really smart guy. And if he looked at success only as winning a championship, then Brian wouldn't still be here because they haven't won one since 2009. Kept saying 19 years, it's 16. So maybe he looks at success differently. He desperately wants to win a World Series. I know that's going to be the next wave of phone calls. He doesn't care. He does. But getting to the playoffs, having a chance, having a competitive team every single year, and you can't say, well, he spends the most money. The Mets spent $340 million last year and didn't make the playoffs. So it's not a fait accompli to make the playoffs, even if you spend the most money. The Mets are Exhibit A. There are a lot of teams that spend a lot of money that don't make it. Somehow Brian Cashman makes it every single year. So maybe they're looking at that and saying, well, that is a success. And one year, at one point, we're going to break through. So he just might be looking at success and a positive job done in a different way than you do. Fans look at it as championship or bust, and that's handed down from George. You've never heard Hal say that. You've never heard Cashman say that. They always say, we want to win a championship. That's obviously the goal. But they never say, if we lose a champion, if we don't win a championship, it's a failure. Never. That's out of George's mouth, out of Derek's mouth, and out of Aaron Judge's mouth. Not from anybody in the Yankee administration has anybody ever said that other than George Steinbrenner. And times they are much different than they were when George was alive. Much different. Let's go to Andrew in Long Island. Andrew.
Yeah, hey, Michael. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Andrew?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Listen, I want to talk quick about a few things. I want to say about the Knicks really quick. What a great game. The playoffs, everything was great. And you know what? The Knicks last night kept saying they got to go on a run. When are they going to do it? And the first quarter pass, second quarter pass, third quarter pass. Like, I saved the best for last, the fourth. And they go on a 10-0 run in the fourth quarter. It was great. It was great what the Knicks did. It's good for the NBA. I like what Brunson said to get MVP. He said, I wouldn't be here without all these players, and he named his front four with him there, and it was just a really, really good day for the NBA last night.
I agree.
And
for the Knicks.
Yep. I want to talk again on the Yankees, but really quick, I just want to mention about the New York Giants. Like right now, they hold the number 1 pick. And originally, they didn't hold it. I was wondering if they make some trade for draft value, but I don't think they should because I've been doing some mock drafts, and you can get like 4 legit guys in the first 4 picks that are NFL starters ready to go. And it's a matter of do they draft Cornell Tate, the wide receiver, a good weapon for Dart? Khalib's down.
Well, we lost him. Listen, I wouldn't take a wide receiver with the first pick. Now, the Giants have to lose to the Raiders to get the first pick because the Raiders are tied with the Giants for the worst record. But if the Giants have the first pick, that's when Joe Shane or whoever the GM is, that's when you go to work. If somebody loves Mendoza, Giants don't need a quarterback, right? If somebody loves Mendoza, then you trade back. Trade back, get the Jets pick, and get another first-round draft pick from the Jets, and maybe even more. You don't take a wide receiver with the first pick of the draft. That makes no sense to me. None. Absolutely none. Let's go to John in Bethlehem. What's up, John?
Hey, Michael. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Same to you.
Always a pleasure to talk to you. One quick question. What do you think the pivot is for the Yanks if they don't get Bellinger?
I think the pivot is Jason Dominguez. Either Dominguez or Spencer Jones.
Okay, so you don't see it as I agree. I don't see anybody out there that's affordable under what I'll call their own salary cap to come in and fill that need. What would you say the odds are of them signing Bellinger at the moment are?
Well, the odds, John, depend on what Bellinger's going to be offered from other teams. So Scott Boras is trying to drum up that a lot of teams want him. The Dodgers want him. The Mets want him. Well, time will tell if that's true. I think if it stays at 5 years at a reasonable number, I think the Yankees will probably sign him. But if it goes to 6 or 7 and the number goes over, 27 or 30, I think they'll tap out. I do. And, maybe they can make a trade for a right-handed hitting left fielder that would platoon with Dominguez, and they'll also give Spencer Jones a chance to win the job. But I don't think they're going to make any big splash. They're certainly not going to go after Kyle Tucker.
Do you think that Chisholm is there's a real possibility of him moving?
I think there is. Jazz is a tremendous player. He's a 30-30 guy. But there's a lot that goes along with Jazz. The play in Miami where he got doubled off of first base, and I think that's the play that eventually got Travis Chapman fired. He's a handful. That's why he was traded from Miami. That's why the Yankees were able to get him. He's due to make about $10 million this year, so the Yankees could play it 2 ways. Run it back. They're not going to sign him to an extension. They probably won't sign him to a long-term free agent deal. Or I guess Cashman calls it a challenge trade now, where you trade a starter for another starter. So maybe he goes out and makes a deal for Ketel Marte, and Jazz is involved. I'm not sure, but I'd say it's 60-40 that he's here. And you ask me the odds on Bellinger, I'd say 65-35 that he's not here. But a lot of it depends on if those offers that Scott is hinting at are out there. Because if it's going to soar into 7 years, I don't think the Yankees are going to do it. I just don't. And if Hal Steinbrenner's intention by saying it would be ideal to stay under $300 million, I don't know how you stay under $300 million, even paying Bellinger $30 million. So you'd have to make other deals. You'd have to shed salary in other ways if you're committed to staying under 30 or staying under 300. And I'm not totally convinced that they're committed because they've said it before. And when push comes to shove and it's presented to Hal, this makes our team better, then he goes over what he called ideal. And I could see him doing that again. But right now I think they're operating under the assumption, let's try to keep it under 300. But if it has to go over, it has to go over. Let's go to Raul in Harrisburg. Raul.
Michael, how you doing? My great co-host.
What's up, Raul?
Very good. Hey, Mike, I want to give credit to the Knicks. Listen, I was a Bronx kid, Mike. I went to Roosevelt, right there next to the Fordham University. Remember that?
Yeah,
that's
sure.
Where you went, right?
Right next to White Castle.
Hey, great school. I grew up in the Bronx, and it was nothing to cheer about, Mike. But you know what? Last night, I'm a Prime member. I work for Amazon. It gave me something to cheer. And you know what it did to the city, Mike? It raised the spirit that the Jets are not giving us. The Giants, they're miserable. The Mets, they're getting there. But the Yankees are the only thing that we're rooting for. And I was eating popcorn last night with one of my kids, and it's crazy because I was like, yeah, you know what? Even though it don't mean nothing, it meant a lot, because it raised the spirit for the city, Mike.
Well, it
makes you
nice
feel
that
good,
the
Knicks getting
the
there.
Knicks are a championship level team. I think raising the spirit of the city might be a bit hyperbolic. There's a lot going on in the world. I think it made people, if you're a Knicks fan, feel really good after they won. But if you're a Net fan, if you're that one out there, or you don't care about basketball, I don't think it raised the spirit of the city. I think that's a little aggressive. They won a championship, a real championship, the NBA title. That has a chance to raise the spirit of the city where people get together, take parade, all of that. But yesterday was nice, but let's not go overboard what it meant. Cody in San Diego. Cody.
What's up, Michael? I have a question for you, sir.
Okay.
So the Packers style of ownership, where they are owned by their fans, kind of like a cooperative style.
Yep.
Of the big four leagues, the MLB, the NBA, the NFL, and the NHL, this is a two-part question. Of the big four, what team do you think would, other than the Packers, would be best suited to that style of ownership? And then within New York, what team do you think would be best suited for that style of ownership?
Well, I don't think anybody is best suited. So if you're asking who would garner the most interest, like if they put shares up, I would think that it would probably be the Yankees and the Dodgers or the Cowboys, teams that have a wide following all around the world. But I don't think any league wants to have that happen again, because by having the Packers be a publicly held company, then everybody knows exactly what their revenue is. And owners don't really love that. And they know what the expenditures are and what the profit margin is. That's why they're not in love with a publicly owned company owning the Atlanta Braves. Because everybody knows exactly the amount of money that the Braves bring in, because legally you have to disclose it. Everybody knows. You think owners really want to open their books like that, stand naked in front of everybody when at times they're crying poor, and all you have to do is look at the Atlanta Braves books and go, they're not crying poor. They're doing just fine. And we know that the Packers are doing just fine. I don't think that any team would benefit from that. I just don't. I think that's an old throwback that I don't think it could happen again. Now, it would be interesting, like the Giants sold 10% of their team to the Koch family for $1 billion. So that valuates their team at $10 billion. I'm sure if the Yankees made 10% of their team available by selling stocks to fans, and they put an outrageous number on a low percentage, like what the Packers do. There are so many Yankee fans out in the world that would love to say they own part of the Yankees and put that certificate up in their den. I think they'd raise a lot of money. I'm just not sure if leagues want that to happen. I think it's a little unyieldly. It's not an easy thing to do. And again, it brings into the discussion that everything becomes out in the open. And I don't think owners want everything out in the open. They want to cry poverty when there's not quite poverty happening, because that helps them in bargaining with their players, their workforce. But if it's all out in the open, you know exactly what the profit margin is. That kind of takes away their leverage, don't you think? Mike Lupica joins us in just a moment, his weekly spot here on the K Show. We're rolling till 3 here on ESPN New York. At that time, it'll be Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Continue to watch on the ESPN New York app.
Wednesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Knicks are NBA Cup champions.
The Knicks have much bigger goals at the end of the year, but by beating San Antonio, they're leaving Las Vegas with a brand new trophy. The 2025 NBA Cup champions, your New York Knicks.
Will this experience help them in the playoffs? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $159 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM839072. MSRP $26,690. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
Discover a driving experience crafted to inspire. At Garden City Mazda, exceptional design and sophisticated performance come together. During the Mazda More to Move You sales event, lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5 for $229 a month for 33 months. Or the 2025 Mazda CX-50 for $239 a month for 33 months. Both with $49.95 due at signing. It's the Mazda More to Move You sales event at Garden City Mazda. At Garden City Mazda, expect the exceptional.
Friends, it's football season, the best time of the year. You should be out there tailgating, cheering on your team, and enjoying every Sunday. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. You don't have to live like that. There's help. Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and is dedicated to helping you get back in the game. Here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that deliver real results. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, and sciatica with a plan that's customized for you. Same-day and next-day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is always close. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Visit SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Most major insurances are accepted. That's SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
Get into the Hyundai Getaway sales event and get away with a deal so right, it almost feels wrong. Because right now, you can get a great deal on our most popular models, including our adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe Hybrid models. There's also our bold and stylish Elantra, packed with all the latest tech. Or go all-electric with the Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6. So get down to your local Hyundai dealer and get away with an awesome deal only during the Hyundai Getaway sales event. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for details.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Well, you know the rules. Wednesday, 2:30, we get a chance to talk to the award-winning columnist, Mike Lupica, the New York Daily News. You could read him at MLB.com, and you could read him in countless books over the years, best-selling books at that. And he joins us every Wednesday at this time. Hello, Mike. How you doing?
Happy holidays, Michael.
And the same to you. Did you enjoy the basketball as much as I did?
Yeah, listen. It's not what Adam Silver wants it to be. You know, I call it the Emirates Adam Silver NBA loving cup. Okay, it's not that, but it was a good, solid win against a contending team. I've got a column up now at nydailynews.com in which the Knicks showed you in December what they want to look like in June. That's what it was. It was a glimpse of who and what they want to be down the road. Everybody played good. I mean, literally everybody played good. Kolek and Clarkson and Michael. I said this in this column. I know we all know how important Jalen Brunson is, and I think we routinely say that the second most important player on the team is Karl Anthony Towns. I actually don't think so. I think they have no chance to get to where they want to go without OG Anunoby. He is everything that the modern game demands from a wingman. I thought he was the best player on the court last night. And on a night when the Knicks showed you their possibilities, they showed you how much they need him.
Now, I said this earlier. I want to get your take on it. I was not in favor of Thibodeau losing his job. You take a team to the sixth game of the Eastern Conference Finals, you shouldn't lose your job. But he did. All right, so that's gone. But I thought Mike Brown coached a great game yesterday, a game that I'm not sure Tibbs would have coached. I don't think Tibbs pulls Mikal Bridges at that time and puts in Kolek. He's just opposed to that sort of move. I thought Brown did a good job and has done a really good job so far this season.
Yeah, he's using the whole canvas. And I think that, listen, Michael, I think it was a secondary reason. I will always believe, without no actual evidence, it's just my opinion, that Thibodeau was fired by James Dolan, that he no longer wanted Tibbs to be the sideline face of his team. I don't think they had a plan at that point. I don't think Mike Brown was their first choice. He might not have been their fourth choice. He's doing a very good job. He is using, he's playing basically 9 guys. And what you saw, another thing you saw in this game, Michael, is if they can keep Mitchell Robinson on the court, even for 15 minutes a game, you can see how much he matters to them.
Oh, he's unbelievable. He's a weapon that very few teams have. To have 10 offensive rebounds in 18 minutes. And Mike, you watched the game. In the fourth quarter, he and Kolek were the difference. They really were. He kept possessions alive. He did such a great job. He's a terrible offensive player, but he brings something that a lot of players don't have in the NBA, and I think he's key to them.
Yeah, Mike, I obviously haven't seen all of the games, but not only was it Kolek's best game, okay, but I assume these have to have been the biggest fourth quarter minutes he's really gotten all season, and he made them pay off. And listen, they took the game from the Spurs in the fourth quarter and wouldn't give it back. Now, do I wish they played the Thunder last night? Yeah, I do. I think that would have been a really cool, one quarter of the season in measuring stick for them. And, there's qualifiers from what we saw from the Spurs. Wembanyama is just getting back. He lost his grandmother. So they were slightly impaired too. But just from the Knicks side of it, this to me was the best they have looked all season against a good team. And again, it's an encouraging thing. Mike, at least they've had the good grace, not to want to hang a banner, okay? Because I made fun of that, even the notion of it in this column I wrote. I mean, Mike, would it have been as meaningful to you as the Harry Styles banner, or less meaningful? No, Mike, come on. Would it have touched your heart the way the Harry Styles banner does, or not? Because the whole idea, Mike, I said in this column, I said this on Twitter today, I saw a headline on X/Twitter this morning that I immediately thought was a parody account or The Onion, okay? Knicks win first title in 52 years. And I'm thinking,
I agree.
Mike, first title in 52 years. So maybe I wasn't appreciate the magnitude of the Adam Silver Emirates, T-Mobile Arena Cup. But what he did with this, I'll give him this, Mike, I'll give him this. He made his players care about these games. He cannot make them care about the All-Star game, but he made this is a trumped-up, made-up, fake event, okay? And it's not even as good as the one they have in European soccer. It's not even as good as that, okay? But he made them care about it, and then the only time it got cheesy was at the end with them rushing the court and the confetti. Stop it! Stop it!
Well, it is interesting, and it brings up a point. We talked about this earlier in the show. The reason the players cared, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it, was, they got $530,000 to win. But they get money to win in the All-Star game, and they don't care. Why? Why don't they care about the All-Star game at all? So what's the difference in this and that? Because they played really good basketball yesterday.
They played, and Michael, it wasn't even as good a game as the Spurs-Thunder game had been in the semifinals. I mean, it was a great game, okay? And no, I don't know. It's an unknowable thing that why they completely mail it in the All-Star game. And, maybe, Mike, maybe they're inspired by basketball courts that look like a high school science experiment gone horribly and tragically wrong. Maybe that got them to, elevate their game. But, listen, the bottom line is it was a good win against a good team. They felt like they had some skin in the game, but they showed you their possibilities in a season which they have declared by firing their previous coach is NBA Finals or bust. We'll find out. There's still 57 games left in the regular season, Michael. And so we're going to find out if this is sustainable. We're going to find out if they're going to pass the Detroit Pistons. I think we've talked about this, Michael. People forget pretty quickly how they beat the Pistons in the playoffs last year in a rock fight of a series.
Yep.
That could easily, we talked about, I think a couple of weeks ago, we talked about, that shot from Brunson that changed everything. They could easily have been knocked out by the Pistons, and the Pistons have come back looking stronger than ever. So, you know what? You know when the next test is? Because I feel that Christmas Day games are as meaningful to players as this tournament was. So now I think they have a big Christmas Day game against the Cavaliers, in which probably more people will watch than watched last night.
Now, are you, Mike, excited about the Mets signing Luke Weaver? And do you see the Met vision yet?
I do. You do? And I'm telling I do, Michael, because I think the next big move is they're going to see if they can bring Mo Rivera back. I probably should. We probably shouldn't be talking about that. I think it's just it's very much in the plan. No, I have no idea what their plan is. I have no idea what his plan is. I stated to you either last week or the week before what I think his plan is. And this could change with a blockbuster move. I always qualify it. There's plenty of time for David Stearns to make a blockbuster move. But for now, all I am seeing, and I think all you're seeing too, Michael, is that he is in the process of assembling the 2026 New York Brewers. That's what I'm seeing.
You think Joe Shane keeps his job?
I don't know. They've got to win, Michael. They got to at least win a game before they can't go 2-15. They just can't. I mean, they've got a game coming up at Raiders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they've got the Vikings. I forget what the other one is. But how can he possibly justify, the owners, I mean, how can they possibly justify bringing him back and saying that there is a core and a nucleus in place with a record like this and a performance like this? And I know they're going to say, oh, we could have won some of those fourth quarter games. But they've got a defense that was quite ballyhooed coming into the season. They've got Brian Burns having a great year. It looks like Abdul Carter, when you can keep him awake, is a very good football player. And they've got their quarterback of the future. Now, Michael, you would think they would have won some games by accident over the last 3 months, but they can't.
I think the only thing that he could do to keep his job, Mike, is just to keep selling it. Well, it's the coaching. I put together a good roster, which I fight back against. It's not a good roster. There are some good players. One of them he didn't draft. That's Andrew Thomas. It's not a good roster, Mike.
Mike, my fear, and we've actually talked about this before. My fear is that they are overrating. It's just what you said. They are overrating the talent in the room. And do I think the kid at quarterback has a chance? I think he's got a great chance. There have been way more positives than negatives. And they have some pieces on defense. But the thing that makes me nuts, Michael, is when I keep reading, oh, this is going to be a really attractive job to sell. And I'm thinking, well, wait, why? What have they done lately with this current management group to make you think that all it takes is the right coach with this particular group of players to get them back to being a winning team again? I don't see that. I want to be surprised. I grew up a Giants fan. I grew up a Giants fan in upstate New York when that was the only game I could watch on Sunday, okay? And I had such respect and affection, not only for Wellington Mara, but Ann Mara, who was the first lady of New York sports. I went to college with John Mara. I want them to figure this out. But and I'm not calling for Joe Shane to lose his job, but I just think they need a new vision. I do.
Now let's move over to the Jets before we let you go. I said this yesterday. I understood, Mike, not bringing back Rodgers. But you made a choice. Okay, we're going to have Justin Fields instead of Rodgers. If you kept Rodgers, right, and that meant you would have kept Devontae Adams, you think they might have a lot more wins than they do, and then that actually does help with the culture they're trying to build?
Hey, guess what? I'll ask you this question. I don't know if I've asked you this before. When you take a step back now and you look at everything that has happened, would they have been better off keeping the other Aaron rather than bringing in the Aaron they have to coach the team? I don't think that we're seeing vintage Aaron Rodgers, but you know what? He looked pretty damn good the other night.
Yes, he did.
Maybe he couldn't win with the Jets because nobody can win. And now, so we had Joe Douglas, okay, who fell in love with Zach Wilson, right? And those are the same people that gave up on Sam Darnold. And now the new guys, they fall in love with Justin Fields. And I think I told you this, and this may sound a little harsh, but there have been times this year where I doubted whether Justin was still right-handed, okay? And so who and now all of a sudden, I love the kid from Indiana. I do. I love the story. I love what he's done. But is he going to be the latest quarterback savior for the New York Jets in this 50-year search for the next Namath? Because, Mike, if you've watched I know you've watched some Indiana. I watched some Indiana. I saw the throw against Penn State, all that stuff, okay? But are you positive he's a sure thing?
No.
Is the guy who's going to lead the Jets out of the wilderness?
No, and they're going to have to trade up to get that pick. And if the Giants are smart and they finish with the worst record, they take a load from the Jets and let them pick them. But I'm not convinced. It's not like, okay, that's Peyton Manning. It's not Andrew Luck. I don't feel that way.
Or Drake May, or Drake May, or Jaden Daniels, or Caleb Williams, Mike.
Yep.
I'm just not sure. And the Jets, forget about the Giants for a second, okay? The Jets are way more than one quarterback away.
Right. For sure. Mike, thank you so much. Have a wonderful holiday, you and your lovely family.
You and your lovely family. Michael, I'll talk to you in January, pal.
All right, be good, my friend. That's Mike Lupica. That is Mike Lupica. We're going to come back. We'll finish it up with your phone calls, as we always do, because, as you know, you are the co-host right now at Bay Ridge Honda. Experience the wonder of holiday savings with the 12 days of deals during Happy Honda Days, like the Accord SE, only $299 per month, or the all-wheel drive HR-V LX for only $269 a month. The 12 days of deals on now during Happy Honda Days. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 39 months lease, 7,500 miles per year, 2026 down plus tax, tag, and fees. See dealer for full details.
Listen up, folks. Never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Knicks fans, it's time for basketball, and the action starts on Friday at Goldie's Tavern with Team ESPN New York and Ultra. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Knicks bar to watch the game versus the 76ers, Goldie's Tavern is your destination. The party tips off at 6:30 p.m., and Team ESPN will be giving away ESPN, Ultra, and Knicks prizes. Join fellow Knicks fans on Friday at 135 West 30th Street. Cheer on your Knicks, enjoy Ultra draft and bottle specials, and cool prizes all game long at Goldie's Tavern.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Whether you're shopping, gaming, or streaming this holiday season, don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds, starting at $25 a month. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch. Act now and get Netflix, a 5-year price lock, and $100 back, all on us. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Ox Spine at New York Presbyterian is always in pursuit of a better way to heal the spine. We're getting more people moving again with minimally invasive, non-surgical, and surgical treatments with innovative solutions for every back and spine condition and your unique needs. Expert spine care is available now across New York City and Westchester. Find a doctor at nyp.org/oxspine. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No!
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown! Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
The city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports. ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We told you earlier, Luke Weaver, former Yankee, signed with the Mets, 2 years, $22 million. So now they have in their bullpen Luke Weaver and Devin Williams, both from the Yankees last year. They have in their rotation Clay Holmes, a former reliever for the Yankees, and obviously in right field, they have Juan Soto. The three pitchers are pitchers that the Yankees probably didn't want to retain, especially at the money they got. They definitely wanted to retain Soto, so you can't say that that's a discard. The other three are. And, I mentioned that, and I got some response from Precocious Neophyte, who is a Met fan, and his logo for Twitter is Mr. Met. And he says to me, maybe the Mets' eye for talent is better than the Yankees. When they help us win, will it be equivalent to George picking up ex-Mets in the 90s? Did that feel weird to you? Yeah, it did. It did feel weird at the time. Absolutely. But there were many, many levels that took place before they became Yankees. They didn't go straight from the Mets to the Yankees. Darryl was at the Dodgers, the Giants, all the off-the-field problems. Doc was in rehab and stuff like that. George was more or less giving them a second chance, but it did feel weird. And if they're right about the eye for talent, they will win. Just like the Yankees did in the 90s. But they didn't win last year. The same guy judging the talent put that team together, and with a $340 million payroll, they couldn't make the playoffs. He also sent another missive. He said, the reason why the Yankees wouldn't have won against the Dodgers this year was because they were gentlemanly swept the year before. Errors and brain farts are part of baseball. And he goes on another note, Hal views success by the profit he makes. That I don't know. You seem like you are certain about it. I'm not certain about it. I have no idea how he views success. But to say, I was referring to another ex-missive where the guy said, does anyone think that they could win? Well, if you don't think that they could win against the Dodgers in a best-of-7 series, you don't know baseball. So the fact that they won the same amount of games as the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays beat them up head-to-head, but they both won 94 games. Most in the American League. And the Blue Jays took the Dodgers, much better team. Everybody had them as massive favorites to the 11th inning of Game 7. Yeah, I think the Yankees could have won. I love the gentlemanly sweep stuff. Okay, I'll play along. It was 5 games. You can call it a gentlemanly sweep all you want. You know how close that series was, but again, we'll see. We'll see if picking up all ex-Yankees works out for them. You're a Met fan that doesn't seem to mind. I wonder if there are Met fans out there that think it's a little bit odd. Just a little bit. So Tua looks like he's out as the Dolphins quarterback, and they're not going to start Zach Wilson, which the thought was because he's a backup quarterback. Quinn Ewers, the kid from Texas, was a third stringer. He's the guy that's going to start. This is going to be costly for the Dolphins if they let him go. All right, cutting him, they would have $99.2 million in dead money. Past June 1st, it would be $67.2 million in 2026, $31.8 in 2027. Now, if you look at the numbers of Tua in that loss to the Steelers, didn't play terribly. The numbers indicate he didn't play terribly, but most of it was in the fourth quarter. The first 3 quarters he wasn't good, and you just wonder, is he afraid of getting concussed again? Is he playing differently? Do they keep him away from danger, and that takes away some of his efficacy? I don't know what to tell you, but that's a pretty big move. I wanted to talk about this yesterday because it was announced yesterday. We talk about media and fake news and stuff like that and how you can't trust media anymore, at least a lot of media. Remember a couple of months ago when it came out as a fait accompli that Howard Stern, they didn't want him back in SiriusXM because of his political views. His show wasn't as good. They didn't think he was worth the money that he was being paid, that he was out. And so many people piled on. That's because he's, one way politically and his audience doesn't like that. And, there's no value to him anymore. Okay. So we read that and we said, well, that's probably fact. Now, Howard, I think, was off at the time when it came out. I think he was on vacation. Well, yesterday he announced that he just signed a 3-year deal with SiriusXM. So do the people that wrote that as a sure thing, do they now say we were wrong? And that's the problem we have now. They don't. They don't. They just move on to the next thing. They don't feel any kind of shame. They don't feel like they have to correct their mistakes. If I give an opinion on this show, right, an opinion, not written as fact, if I give an opinion, this team's terrible, they won't make the World Series, and then the team goes out and makes the World Series, I feel awful about it. And I come out and say, I was wrong. And that's an opinion. But when you write that Howard Stern is out, he has no value to SiriusXM anymore, his allegiance politically has ruined him, and his show's not good, they don't even want him back. You wrote that as fact. And it was picked up by everybody in the world of aggregation. And yesterday he announced he's going to stay another 3 years. Please stand up, raise your hand and say, I was wrong. But you won't do it. And that's the problem we have right now in this world with social media, where you could throw anything up against the wall and hope it sticks. And if it doesn't, no harm, no foul, move on to the next thing, move on to the next fabricated lie. We're in tough times, people, tough times. But you can always trust for these 2 hours. I'm going to give you my legitimate opinion, and if I'm wrong, I will revisit it and tell you I'm wrong. I will not give you nonsense. That's what I'm about. That's why we love each other. That's why you listen, and that's why I do the show. Speaking of doing the show, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, they're next. You got to stay tuned for them. I'm sure Alan has a lot to say about the Knicks' victory in the NBA Cup. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.
New York Lottery's holiday scratch-off games are the perfect gift for everyone on your list.
Like me, your Aunt Jules. I told you I didn't need a gift this year, but I secretly really want one.
Or me, your neighbor Frank. I hope you didn't forget I'm